Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Dr. Nicole Smith with Antigravity Wellness, and today's Wellness Wednesday is all about why women over 40 can't sleep and what to do about it. So, we're going to talk about how to reclaim your rest, reset your hormones, and finally feel like yourself again. Now, for those of you who are here live, absolutely pop into the comments and say hashtag live. Post any questions that you have about sleep, any struggles that you've been having. And if you're catching the replay, put in hashtag replay. And again, also put in any questions or comments that you have about this topic and any way that I can help you, because that's what these sessions are all about. So let's get to it. So please note that this presentation is for educational purposes only. This is not meant to treat or diagnose. Please always consult your personal healthcare provider before making any changes to your medications, supplements, or your treatment plan. So if we haven't met yet, I am Dr. Nicole Smith. I'm a doctorate of nursing practice, board certified in family and orthopedic medicine. And also this fall, I will be sitting for the menopause board exam. I'm a certified personal trainer and the founder of Antigravity Wellness, where I help women over 35 take back control of their hormones, health, and lives. I care deeply about this topic because I've been there. In my late 30s, I went from being the woman who could sleep anywhere, anytime, to being wired and awake at 2 a.m. with my heart pounding and a brain that wouldn't shut off. I was irritable, exhausted, and started to feel like a stranger in my own body. This journey led me to dive deeper into hormone science, functional medicine, and nervous system regulation. What I learned changed my life, and now it's changing the lives of the women that I serve. Cannot emphasize strongly enough, sleep is the cornerstone. If we are not sleeping, nothing else we're doing for our health and wellness is going to work. So let's start off with a client case study. So we'll call her Sarah. So she was a client who came to me in tears. She was 44, working full time and doing everything right, but her sleep was wrecked. She was waking up multiple times a night, often between 2 and 4 a.m., soaked in sweat and unable to fall back asleep. Her mood was low. Her belly was expanding despite eating clean and exercising. And her doctor told her it's just aging. Try melatonin. But here's the thing. Sarah wasn't broken. She was in perimenopause, and her body was asking for support. So, with a combination of targeted hormone testing, a few key lifestyle shifts, and the right supplement support, Sarah began sleeping through the night again. Her energy returned, and so did her confidence. So, why does sleep get worse after 40? What's really happening when sleep disappears in your 40s is there are hormone shifts. Your progesterone, the calming hormone, starts to drop. This leads to anxiety, irritability, and trouble falling asleep. Estrogen becomes erratic, which messes with your body's temperature regulation, leading to night sweats and hot flashes. Your melatonin levels, your sleep hormone, also decline, especially when stress and cortisol levels are high. And speaking of cortisol, when it's elevated at night, it can cause that wired but tired feeling or sudden 3 a.m. wake ups. There's also a component of blood sugar regulation that can come into play here. Under eating, it's not going to help your sleep. Sleep issues in perimenopause aren't always obvious. They can look like trouble falling asleep, waking up and not being able to fall back asleep, tossing and turning, night sweats, vivid or intense dreams. And then the next day, we can have brain fog, irritability, and cravings, especially for sugar. If this sounds like you're not alone and you're not crazy. Your hormones are in flux and your nervous system is struggling to adapt. Here's the big picture. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it messes with every other system in your body. Less sleep equals more insulin resistance, higher cortisol, slowed metabolism, worse mood and memory, and more hormone imbalances overall. Think of sleep as your body's nightly reset button. When you miss out, everything feels harder. So, how do we start to fix it? It actually begins in the morning. These simple habits can reset your circadian rhythm and improve melatonin production later in the day. So, first, get 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight in your eyes early in the day. Next, you want to wake up at the same time daily, even on weekends, which is really hard, but having a regular sleep schedule Monday through Sunday is super important. You want to eat a protein-rich breakfast to support blood sugar and hormones, and you want to do this within 90 minutes of waking up, or especially before you exercise. Do not fast throughout the morning. That's for men or for postmenopausal women. We are not either of those. If you're in perimenopause and you're still cycling, you need to eat. And then you need to get your body moving, whether it's a walk, yoga, or full workout, or you're just doing chores around the house, you need to be moving. This sets the tone for your cortisol and melatonin cycle to stay in sync. We need to send the body the signal it's daytime, it's time to get up, it's time to wake up, time to move, time to eat, time to digest and work. And then it will naturally set up the signals in the evening to wind down and go to sleep. So now let's talk about a night routine. Your body needs consistency and safety to signal to wind down. So try some of these things. We need to turn our screens off by 9 p.m. or at least an hour, preferably at least before you go to bed. You can use blue light blockers because blue light, we know, blocks melatonin production in the brain. If you're not making your own melatonin, your body doesn't know it's time to go to sleep. And by the way, melatonin is one of our most potent antioxidants. When we don't have enough melatonin, we also see an increased risk in cancer, especially things like breast cancer. Next, create a wind down hour. Yes, an hour. Use soft lighting, do gentle stretching or journaling, something that gets you to unwind and relax. Give that signal to your body, it's time to go to bed. Take a warm bath or a shower. This can actually help drop your core temperature and signal sleep. I like to use my sauna. That will also help to decrease your core temperature. If you're having a hot flash, that might not feel good. So you could also try doing a cool shower to cool your body down. Next, you want to keep your bedroom cool. Around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. You might need to work yourself into that, though, if you are not used to it being that cool at night. These small tweaks work with your nervous system, not against it. Some supplements can be powerful allies, but they work best when they're personalized to your needs. My favorites include magnesium glycinate. This calms the nervous system and has worked wonders for a lot of my patients. L-theanine can also work, helps with anxious thoughts. Chamomile or lemon balm tea, it's gentle herbal support. Nice little warm tea that you can use as part of your ritual of going to bed. And then we can use melatonin, say like in small doses and hopefully just in short term, though we do have a natural decline in melatonin as we age. And as I said, melatonin we are discovering is a very potent antioxidant hormone, which is very interesting. They're still doing more studies on that. And so, and there doesn't seem to be that feedback loop that we thought that there was with melatonin. So if you take melatonin, that doesn't suppress your own melatonin production. It just helps to augment it. But you do have to be careful. Start with a very low dose, like 1 1 milligram at most, up to 3 milligrams. Higher doses can become actually a little bit more of a problem as far as like you can't sleep without it. But again, working with a provider on that is very important as well. So always check with your provider to avoid interactions, especially if you're on other medications or other supplements, because supplements can also interact with each other. You could cause more harm than good. For many women, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, especially oral micronized progesterone, can be a game changer. So, why oral and not topical? Oral progesterone passes through the liver and creates metabolites that bind to GABA receptors in the brain, your natural calming system. That's what helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. Topical progesterone, on the other hand, doesn't create those same calming effects. It doesn't get metabolized through the liver in the same way. At Antigravity Wellness, we carefully evaluate if BHRT, bioidentical hormone replacement, is a good fit using labs, symptoms, and your personal health goals. So, when to get a sleep study? Here's something often missed. Sleep apnea is rising in midlife women, especially in perimenopause and menopause, and it often goes undiagnosed. If you snore loudly, wake up gasping, have dry mouth or headaches in the morning, wake up to pee multiple times, because if it's more than once, maybe twice, you're not actually needing to pee. That's not waking you up. You're waking up and then you need to pee. Or you still feel exhausted despite 7 to 8 hours in bed, ask your doctor about a home sleep study or going to a sleep center. So if you need a prompt, say, I'm over 40, I have disturbed sleep, and would like to rule out sleep apnea. Most of your providers will say, yeah, no problem. They might ask you a few follow-up questions, but shouldn't be an issue. And it is covered by insurance for most people. It's simple, it's non-invasive, and could completely change your energy, brain function, and hormone regulation, and could even save your life in the long term, because sleep apnea will lead to cardiovascular complications, heart problems, brain problems, dementia. It's a bad thing. Metabolism abnormalities. So, it definitely is something that needs to be addressed. Here in the picture, you can see a gal who's sleeping with like a little nose piece. They have many different ways to address this nowadays. It's not just like the big old mask. And, a lot of people can't tolerate the big mask, so they're not compliant with that. The nose tends to be a little bit easier to tolerate. They can hydrate that as well, so it doesn't dry you out. There's also mouthpieces, and they can take a look at what's going on um, in the throat area to see if there's actually a blockage. So there's many different ways that they can address this, but at least getting the diagnosis and starting that process. And again, insurance will help to cover this. Now let's talk about sleep meds. These can help short term, but they often come with side effects, and they don't always improve deep or REM sleep. They can leave you groggy or foggy, and they carry risks for dependence. If you're using one now, no shame, but the goal should be to address the root causes of your sleep issues, so that you can eventually reduce or eliminate your need for them with medical guidance. I've actually helped one of my patients to really wean down on her sleep medication that she had been dependent on for almost a decade. And no one seemed to be able to help her to get off of it. But we've been working together for over a year now, and she's finally getting to a place where she's been able to wean down and almost completely off of it. So we're making progress, and it is possible. So, if this all resonated and you're ready to stop guessing and start healing, here are your next steps. First, you can grab our free 5-day hormone reset mini course. It's simple with actionable steps to support your hormones naturally. Or if you are ready to jump right in, you can book your brief initial consult call with me. Through the end of this week, it's 50% off. So you just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link that will be provided in the comments and the description here to get started on those. Thank you so much for watching today and bearing with me to the end. We went through a lot of really good information here, and sometimes we just need to be reminded because a lot of this stuff you probably know about. But if there was anything that you were surprised by, then definitely drop that into the comments and let us know what you learned today. So at Antigravity Wellness, we use our signature 4-step hormone harmony method to help women over 35 sleep better, think clearer, and feel more like themselves again without being dismissed or rushed. You don't have to suffer through this stage of life. Let's help you rest, recover, and reclaim your energy starting tonight. Thank you.